Welcome back to another episode of Varsity Views Inside the Huddle edition, brought to you by Keon Sports. I'm Jax.
And I'm Darian.
And we got a great Week 10 slate of games right before the playoffs. I mean, our top five is pretty good this week. Can't compete with last week because we had some fantastic games, but this week still pretty solid.
No, absolutely. Week 9 was probably the best week we had of games. I'm talking as far as action-packed and competitiveness and just the high scoring. You don't get too many of those in high school football. And the fact that we had so many where we had 8 options and had to narrow it down to 5 was crazy. But it's also the last week of the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Some teams, win this game, you're in the playoffs. Lose it, you're out.
That one loss, that's so unfortunate. Well, let's get straight into these games, man. Coming in at game number 5, we have Westlake versus Elyria Catholic. Coming in the first quarter, Sean Evilsizer had a 32-yard field goal. Now we back on the field goal tip now.
Yep.
So we start the game off with a field goal for them. They take the early lead, a slight lead, but a lead nevertheless at 3-0. But Westlake again, Matthew Parcelli, who was the running back, scored an 8-yard touchdown, giving their team 10-0 lead. That's 10-0 in the first quarter.
That's what you want if you're Westlake.
That's a solid first quarter. That's 10-0. Coming into the second quarter though, Elyria Catholic running back Anthony DeMartinez had a 2-yard touchdown, giving them a 10-7. They cut the lead down a little bit. Now they're only down 3 points. It's 10-7 now. Westlake is still up, but Westlake isn't going for that. Westlake will come back with a 22-yard field goal. Again, man, is it probably a field goal game? They get a field goal to go. It's 13-7, and that will be the score going into the half.
Hey, Westlake is a great team, so Elyria Catholic to be able to stick in there like this, way to keep battling that first half after being down 10-0 in the first quarter. Good sign if you're EC.
Absolutely. I mean, they essentially, them 2 field goals, they scored a touchdown. They trying to get it by any means necessary when it comes to the score. And, hey, as long as you're in field goal range, there's not a lot of, high school.
Take the points that you can get.
Absolutely. There's not a lot of high school kickers that are very consistent at kicking from range. And this person was he out here. He got that leg, bro. Coming out of the halftime, we got Westlake once again, Porcelli with a 34-yard touchdown. 20-7 already just like that in the third quarter. There was no action for the rest of that quarter as EC seems to not be able to make anything happen.
Nope, after that strong second quarter, they couldn't come out of half and just couldn't capitalize.
Absolutely. We got quarterback for Westlake, Sam Bruchetti, with a 13-yard running touchdown. 27-7 is the score, but that would be the end of the game. That would be the final score of the game. 27-7, Westlake would have the dub. Player of the game was running back Matthew Purcelli, who had 254 yards and 2 touchdowns. Man, 254? 254?
He was running that thing.
254?
Hey, it was a rainy weekend here in Northeast Ohio, so going to be a lot of ground game in these games.
You ain't lying. If you guys want to check this out, go to keonsports.com. Look for the author Bryce Halt. He wrote a great article about this. Make sure y'all go ahead and show him a love, and if you need to, go ahead and leave a comment for the guy, man. Come on, man.
And coming in at game number 4, we have St. Ed's versus Hoban. Now, this is a top 5 matchup in the state of Ohio. Hoban ranked number 1, I believe, in Division 2. St. Ed's number 1 in Division 1. So, hey, this is a battle.
No, they really like that. We know how we feel about St. Ed's, man. They really like that.
And Hoban is basically the St. Ed's of Division 2. First quarter. Hoban, 6-yard pick 6 from linebacker Elijah Lee to take the lead 7-0. That's all that would happen in the first quarter, but if you're Hoban, you like where you stand, getting that early pick 6, taking that lead. Heading into the second quarter, St. Ed's would respond, though, on a Nate Gregory rushing touchdown, tied at 7. That would be the score going into halftime. So, like we expected, 2 fantastic teams battling it out, great defense. It's going to be a close game all game.
I wouldn't be surprised if this was a game that would come down to the wire. Literally, to the very end. I'm talking Cinderella throw.
Uh-huh. Well, let's see. Third quarter, absolutely nothing. As the defenses were just battling in that bad weather, like I said earlier, rain all over Northeast Ohio. So not a lot of passing offense in these games, but still, defenses took over in that third quarter. In the fourth quarter, St. Ed's running back Brandon White would get a rushing touchdown to take the lead 14-7 over Hoban. Hoban would then get the ball back, but they'd be forced to punt, and St. Ed's would get the ball and just run out time, and that would end up being the final score, 14-7, St. Ed's on top. A short, pretty easy game, just defensive battle, not a lot of offense, and St. Ed's is a defensive-heavy team, so this is the games that they're built for. Player of the game was St. Ed's running back Brandon White, who had 135 rushing yards and a touchdown. If you'd like to learn more about this game, go to KeonSports.com, look for the author Devin Lowe, who wrote a great article and saw this fantastic game, be played in this rough weather.
Hey, I feel like if you could ever see a St. Ed's game, like you're gonna enjoy it.
Hey, especially against Hope. I mean,
Hoban is serious.
That is a heck of a game. If it was a little more high scoring, I mean, maybe it would have been number one this week.
You're probably right, because it would be number one for the two number one teams in the division.
I mean, that's hard to beat.
You telling me. Coming in at game number 3, we have Black River versus Columbia. In the first quarter, Black River will get on the board first, as there will be a 5-yard touchdown pass from Eric Grosser to Zam Bungard. It will be a 7-0 lead for Black River to start the first quarter. Columbia would come back from running back Marco Sorigliano, who had a 2-yard touchdown run, tying the game at 7, and that would be the end of the first quarter. So first quarter right now, a little back and forth action. Seems like they're locked in, and now we're gonna see who's more locked in the second quarter.
Hey, yeah, Columbia was undefeated on the season until this game. Let's see if they can keep that going.
Oh yeah, we gotta see if they stay locked in. They want to keep that streak. Come on, 9-0, coming in this game 9-0. Oh yeah, absolutely. Second quarter, Black River quarterback Grosser again would throw a pass to Braylon O'Neal for 10 yards, and it would invert in a touchdown. Now it's 14-7. Black River is up. I think they know that this team is undefeated, so they trying to do whatever they can to go at it.
I think they know. They definitely know that this team is undefeated.
Well, guess what? Columbia's Sorigliano would have a 7-yard rushing touchdown, tying the game at 14. Listen, they know that they're undefeated. Black River knows they're undefeated. They're trying to
want to keep it that way. They want to keep it that way.
You don't win 9 games and not get the 10th. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to make sure. And obviously, this was going to be the toughest game to close out the season for them. So going into the half right now, it is 14-14. You know how we talk about tie games at half? It's 0-0 when you come out.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the better team in the second half?
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what's going on. In the third quarter, Columbia running back Sorigliano would have a 29-yard rushing touchdown. And the score would be 20-14 as the field goal was blocked, but it's 20-14. Columbia is on the board first in the second half, and Black River was unable to score in this third quarter. So if Black River has any hope of trying to beat an undefeated team,
they got to make it. They got to make it shake in that fourth quarter.
They got to score in the fourth quarter and have a stop. Let's see how the fourth quarter goes. In the fourth quarter, Black River's Grosser had a 30-yard field goal, which resulted in a 20-17 lead still for Columbia, but they are able to cut it in half. Now, Columbia would fumble the ball, which will lead to Black River's running back, Jace Hopick, for an 8-yard rushing touchdown. Wow, Black River's up now.
Hey, those turnovers late in the games, bad weather, it could cost Columbia their perfect season.
Hey,
as Black River, like you said, takes that lead 24-20 in the fourth.
They're up now. Now, all you got to do if you're Black River is play some defense.
Mm-hmm.
Play some defense. Don't let them score. They need a touchdown to win the game. A field goal is not going to cut it.
Yep.
So you just got to play the best defense you possibly can to beat an undefeated team. Now, to finish off this fourth quarter, both teams had great defense. They both made some stops, but unfortunately, Columbia was unable to score. Their perfect season, or what thought which was their perfect season, has came to an end as they were unable to close that out to go 10-0. They would take their first L at the end of the season to Black River when the score ends up being 24-20. Now, if you guys want to read about it, go to KeonSports.com. Go look up Brandon Marvel. He wrote a great article. Player of the game was Black River's running back Jace Hopick, who had 117 rushing yards and a touchdown. This man helped his team beat an undefeated team today. When the weather is bad, you got to do whatever you got to do.
Run that ball.
Run it. Literally, because ain't nobody looking at the sky, raindrops falling in your face, and then you trying to catch a slippery ball. Not even gonna lie to you. So he did his thing, man. They beat an undefeated team, and I know Black River was happy. Out of all the wins you possibly had all season, beating a team that hasn't experienced a loss yet is like the best way to end your season.
Yes, sir. And coming in at game number 2 on our countdown for Week 10, we have Brunswick versus Strongsville. In the first quarter, Strongsville quarterback Harsh Patel would throw a 15-yard passing touchdown to Michael Marrero, making it 6-0 after the PAT was blocked. Brunswick, though, they weren't going for it. QB Ethan Roxandich would throw a 39-yard touchdown to Hayden Swarm, taking the lead 7-6 after they made their PAT. Strongsville would then respond with a quarterback Harsh Patel 10-yard passing touchdown to Jeremy Knopf, making it 13-7. So this first quarter, hey, they didn't care about the bad weather. Strongsville's passing the ball, Brunswick's passing the ball. We got a high-scoring game on our hands, it seems.
Oh, yeah, no, we about that action over here, man. That's game number 2 for a reason.
And in the second quarter, we were proven wrong. The defenses battled all quarter. No scores happened. Just clawing through the mud, clawing through the rain. That's what you want to see after a high-scoring quarter. You want to see the defenses tighten it up, make some adjustments, and keep this game close.
You ain't lying.
Now
I was about to say, you like the ad-libs, ain't it? Yeah.
Now, coming out of halftime, Strongsville's Vincent Roncone would hit a 27-yard field goal to take the lead, 16-7. Expanding that lead, that's what you need if you're Strongsville right now.
These field goals is going crazy, man.
Hey, we got another one coming. As Brunswick's kicker, Vincent Teodoro, would kick a 21-yard field goal to take down Strongsville's lead 16-10. So Brunswick still trying to stay in it with this field goal, just getting points on the board, hoping that the defense can keep it up and keep battling as they have been, trying to get the ball back again, get this fourth quarter score.
Hey, man, some points is better than no points. Apparently, they're getting to the part of the field that they need to get get in scoring position. They just not converting, so they got to take the field goal.
Yeah, take the points when you can.
At least they getting down. At least they getting down the field.
And in the fourth quarter of this game, Strongsville had the ball. Harsh Patel was back to pass, and that's when Brunswick's Cohen Aesa would get a 21-yard pick six and take the lead 17-16. So it wasn't an offensive touchdown. It was that Brunswick defense that showed up and they said, our offense can't score this half. Let us score this half.
Absolutely.
As Strongsville would then get the ball back, but on their final drive of the game, they would throw another interception, and that would be the final score to the game. Brunswick 17, Strongsville 16. Barely edging it out. That first quarter saw a lot of scoring. Then it was just field goals and a defensive touchdown from there.
That's one of those where you just look at him like, man, if I just didn't throw that pick.
That one mistake.
Especially in the fourth quarter.
If it's raining, run the ball, man. Just run the ball. Your defense has been playing good all game.
And you're winning. Run the clock out, too.
Yeah,
Waste the clock, bro. Just get a couple first downs, get close. If y'all got to, kick a field goal. Y'all been kicking field goals all game now.
You got it. And the player of the game was Brunswick Cohen Aesa with the game-winning interception. If you'd like to learn more about this game and this grudge match, go to KeonSports.com and look for the author Ben Hughes, who got to witness that 21-yard pick six in person.
Man, we got the number one game of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Number one game of Week 10.
And it's a team that we've seen very often on this list, I feel like.
We have Bay Village versus North Olmsted. So let's get straight into it. The very first quarter, Bay Village, Brandon Spellman, 10-yard touchdown. 7-0.
Right out
just
the
like
gate.
that. Right out the gate. There's no score for the remaining of the first, but coming in the second quarter, Bay Village running back Spellman again will have a 9-yard rushing touchdown, giving his team a 14-0 lead quick. This man is serious. It's the last game of the season. He's already done got the first 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
14-0.
Let's go into
like
this playoff with some momentum.
You ain't lying. But North Olmsted will come back as Colin Willard will score a 4-yard rushing touchdown. They cut that lead in half. It's 14-7. Bay Village is up. That is the score going into halftime. Now, if I'm Bay Village, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna give back to Spellman in the second half. I want to see if we can get another touchdown out this game. Like, it's got to happen, but North Olmsted's going to have to get a stop. They're already behind the 8 ball, being down to score, so they have to outscore Bay Village if they want to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to see how it happens in the second half. Coming in the third quarter, North Olmsted's quarterback Tommy Horsfall to Colin Willard for a 30-yard touchdown. Talk about got a nice little arm on there, man.
Hey,
That 30 ball.
Throwing it in the rain.
Tie game 14-14. Now it's anybody's game. It's tied up. It's tied up, baby. Right in the second half? Oh, yeah. It's anybody's game. But guess what? Bay Village wasn't having it. As Spellman with another touchdown. And this time, it was for 6 yards out. 21-14. This man.
They can't stop him.
They can't stop him. He's untouchable. He's probably really good at tag, man. And it's raining outside. They can't get a hold on him, man. They slipping off. My man is like butter. It's over. Hey, he getting it done. Coming into the fourth quarter.
Hey, we got a.
Oh, no, this is crazy. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to lie.
That weather plays a big toll in this fourth quarter.
We're going to see it. North Olmsted is in scoring position, but they would fumble in the red zone. And Bay Village would fumble the ball as well as soon as they get it. Now, North Olmsted would turn over on downs after the fumble, but Bay Village would fumble the ball again. So, honestly, I think the
ball is on the ground.
He's saying, ain't nobody touching me this quarter. Like, it's over. But North Olmsted would get a 12-yard touchdown pass to Horsefall from Michael Pacifume for a 21-20 lead. They would go for the 2-point conversion, and they would fail. North Olmsted failing this 2-point conversion might have cost them the game.
Hey, it could have cost them.
Like, they were only down by 1 point. They were trying to go for the win, but they couldn't do it. Now, they go for the kickoff. They try to do an onside kick, but Bay Village will recover it, and that would be the end of the game as Bay Village would win. They are victorious.
Sneaking it out.
They are victorious in the final game of the season as they would win 21-20. Player of the game was Bay Village running back Brandon Spellman, who went for 192 rushing yards with 3 touchdowns. We said his name the whole entire game. He got 3 touchdowns on 192 yards. If you guys want to read about this, go to keonsports.com. Go look up Mitchell Bubb when you're in your search box. Go ahead and leave a comment. He wrote a great article. This was a great game to be a part of and to watch.
Hey, that fourth quarter fumble
parade,
whatever you want to call it.
There was 4 fumbles, man. There's 4 fumbles in the fourth quarter. I can only imagine, like, being there.
The mayhem.
Watching it, and you're like, oh, my goodness, it's still the last, you know what I'm saying? It's still the last game of the season. Like, come on, y'all, we got to get a dub. Like, what's going on? But, man, that's it for the regular season.
That's it for Week 10. Hey, top 5 games. We had some, like I said, we had some great games. Now, we're going to head into the Player of the Week. Player of the Week this week, I mean, he's we love him on this show.
You telling me
Medina
if all this, you
quarterback,
better pay for us.
You
got to pay. We need some money.
Player of the Week is Medina quarterback Danny Stoddard with 290 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. And that's in the rain. We see teams fumbling the ball. We see teams just running the ball. No, not Medina, not Danny Stoddard. He still goes for almost 300 yards and throws 3 touchdowns.
Hey, what can I say? The boy is accurate. He know what he doing out there.
Now, before we end the show, we're going to get into a little playoff preview of a couple games that we got our eyes on this week. Starting with, this might be a little biased, but Twinsburg coming in at 6-4, going in the backyard rivalry against Nordonia, who's 8-2.
That definitely sounds biased.
Twinsburg's first playoff appearance in 13 years. When I was in high school, we didn't make the playoffs. When I was in 8th grade, we didn't make the playoffs. It's been a while.
Oh.
So they're back. They're playing against their arch rival, Nordonia Knights, on Friday night. It's going to be a heck of a game. I'm excited to see the outcome.
8th grade, bro. That's been like 8 years.
Yeah. And they haven't made it in 13, so I was in what?
5th grade?
I was young.
Maybe 5th grade, 6th. Oh, no. You said, oh, my.
Yeah, I was young.
Yo,
so
bro,
good for the
grade,
Twinsburg Tigers. Way to get back to the playoffs, 6-4. I've never seen a record like that when I went to Twinsburg, so happy for them. Another game where we got our eyes on is Shaker Heights coming in at 7-3 versus Barberton at 6-4. We had a Barberton game last week where they played Aurora. A heck of a game. Shaker Heights with that 7-3 record. We're going to have a heck of a game on our hands. Can't wait to see the outcome of that one.
Oh, this game looks like a little biased for me now.
Why don't you go ahead? Let's hear what you got to say.
Hey, man, we got Lorraine, 8-2. That's my city, man. What's good, y'all? Y'all be doing y'all thing out there for sure. They're gonna be playing Glen Oak, who is 6-4. Honestly, I'm sure you're gonna take your team. I'm gonna take mine. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Whether it's biased or not.
I'm pulling for my team.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm gonna say.
You know, we gotta make them deep runs in the playoffs, man. We strive for greatness.
Especially since my team is playing their biggest rival. Yeah, I'm pulling for my team.
And
It's gonna be a tough task though. Nordonia is a great football team. I hate saying it, but they are a great football team.
Hey man, that's the preview. The playoff previews, man.
We're excited.
Hey, you got any last things you want to say, man? This is the end of the football season, bro.
Go Tigers. That's all I gotta say.
Go Tigers. Hey, go Titans. Yeah, what's up? Appreciate you guys tuning into this week's episode of Inside the Huddle. Make sure y'all tune in next week, and you guys are gonna get the playoff edition of Inside the Huddle, baby. I've been your host, Darian.
And I'm Jack.
And we're gonna catch y'all next week, man.